GPTVONE. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I said the end, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I don't officially straight apply. Or when I'm stand up for the stone, I live my life. Beneath the rich when Eastern they stick when I make it thighs. But the schoolies never bet for me, my dough is still for thighs. I'm the horn, niggas know they cute too, I keep out the gone. But let's get it, you know my me, you miss be up the shown. And when I see a nigga smile, you will say a front. And if they got me, no, then you know I did the con. You up the icon, I see the fact. This scene I'm easy, but I hate I wake, so what I pack. I keep a searing in the rain, then I smoke as crack. And if I get, I'll keep a foreign, no supplying a yeah. Taking trash to the sky from my reason to living. All the flu on the plane that resenting you ribbon. Jacks kicking out of love, I might never be willing. You shall never know what you I can never forget. Tune in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I 7 in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, you know by now it's on the line of people, but you never know this name is Kanana sequel. Speaking fresh, taking down, so decide the needle. Put down, stay the time to line like you want the needles. And if you hate when I like the brown, it's like your cam in the ground till they come a noun. But like I'm so fresh up and through the moose confused. And now I know what's up and noon and that was all for you. Say you never lose, stakes is native Purricana. I was go he's not a like a bagel, Jake your face. But I was thinking to his soul when y'all was by the cover. And now I rain, man, I ain't like the make whatever. I say blend flame mind, you gate ain't no restriction. This nap so hard, go within and never missing. Convinced that you need love me now, but sure never tripping. It's the amazing all, boy, you'll come and get tripping. Tune in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I say the name, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream.
What up, dope fam? I'm back in the building once again. Friday night edition. I told y'all I will be doing this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Trying to get a regular schedule going on here. And you know, I'll be covering some of the hottest stories that's going on out there right now. Okay. P. Diddy's drug mule testified today. We're going to cover Mayor Paul Young and the situation he went through down in Memphis. And of course, we're going to cover the Fat Joe lawsuit. Now they talking about he was sex trafficking. Oh boy. Oh boy. It's going to be a good show. Y'all stay tuned. Before we get to all that, check out this public announcement. Welcome to the GP Inner Circle. What up, though, GP fam? I'm excited to announce that the GP membership is now officially active. This is your chance to step up and show your support in a way that truly matters. By joining the Inner Circle, you will unlock exclusive perks tailored just for the most dedicated supporters, because you deserve nothing less. But that's not all. The Super Chat feature is now live, giving you an even greater opportunity to engage with me and the community in real time. Your support fuels my passion and creativity, inspiring me to deliver the kind of fire content that only the GP fam deserves. So why wait? Join the GP membership today and be a part of something special. Let's elevate this community together, because when you thrive, we all thrive. Welcome to the Inner Circle. Your journey starts now. Much love. Yeah, I'm back with y'all. Got my chill mode music in the back. I'm always excited because I do this just for you. It's a passion for me because I like to perform for the audience. And I thank everybody for the support. Excuse me. But before we jump into all that, I want to answer a question from the community, because I have a few chats going on, and a couple of these chats been going on for a couple of years now. So we've been chatting in the comment section for a couple of years. And the PDQ story has been taking off lately. I did some updates across the channel, and even though I may drop a video or something like that, it seems like it's not getting a lot of views when it first come out, but it sort of grows over time because I do exploration type material. But I still get about 50,000 views probably every month right now. It's been increasing since I've been back working on the channel. And I'm glad the way it's going right now because I really feel free and directing the channel the way I want it to go. But I want to answer one of these questions. So this guy, Kid Seldom Seen, he left a message on the PDQ docuseries, and he said, coming off Dexter Ave, real YBI. Never heard of this clique. Okay, let me go ahead and answer that. When it comes to all of that stuff, when people talking about the Chambers Brothers, YBI, and all that stuff, the Curry Boys, all that stuff, I had to repeatedly tell people that we are not them. And I think people have a problem because they look at people like us and they try to compare us to those guys. We're not those guys. I'm not the Chambers Brothers. I'm not YBI. It's no disrespect to them. But you can't compare PDQ with YBI. That's not fair to the guys. These are our neighborhood guys. These are our little brothers and stuff like that. That's fam and all that. So we don't claim to be those guys. If you don't know them, that's fine. We're not, we're not sweating that. What we want is solutions and positivity and reality. And they want that too. They came on there, they showed they followers and stuff. They men now. So that's just to answer your question. What's the guy name again? Kid Seldom Seen. So I'm gonna actually write him back and let him know about that. But it's okay, he left the comment or whatever. So it was a couple of comments that came in there and they say, well, I'm from Detroit. I never heard of y'all or whatever. I like to say to that guy, they from Detroit, ain't never heard of you. Everybody not famous like YBI, and everybody wasn't doing the things they were doing. We know that YBI probably, in my opinion, the most influential crew historically out of that particular city. But it's a great story, so I would encourage y'all to keep watching it, keep checking on it. It's a whole docuseries, so it's a few of them. And they just been getting a lot of views lately. They've been getting the top views on the channel for the past month. Also, the Sheik. I believe the Sheik really gonna take over the #1 spot. But anyway, let's move on to Fat Joe. Move on to Fat Joe. Yeah, so I looked up and tried to find some video footage of this story. And this, I want to show the audience how I actually work. I do have a degree in communications, and journalism comes along with that. And with journalism, just like any other industry, it has ethics. And part of the ethics is looking for a credible source of information. They usually tell you to go to the major news sources. So that's what I did right here. And what I got was a bunch of podcasters. There's nothing against them or nothing like that. You got the Breakfast Club. They pretty much doing what I'm doing cover stories and giving their own thoughts on that. So I wouldn't look for them for like information or something like that. I take it as pure entertainment. And there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. I'm not knocking it at all. I encourage you to watch it. But I didn't find it there. So let me share my screen and show y'all what I'm actually talking about here. So share this screen. When I look it up on YouTube, I get a lot of information on YouTube. I'm a YouTube junkie, YouTuber myself. As you can see on here, podcasters, all podcasters. So I wouldn't be clicking on that looking for like credible information. You go to Breakfast Club right there. As you see, I'm not clicking on that. But it's still cool. I wouldn't tell people not to do it. I'm not knocking what they're doing. So what I would do, if I can't get it from there, Let me stop sharing that screen right there. And I want to go here. I want to find a credible news source. In this case, I want an ABC, which we all know is a credible news source. You see ABC News right there. This is just an ethic in journalism. Fat Joe accused of sex trafficking, fraud in new lawsuit. Say committing fraud to her. Okay, go a little clip right here. Let's see what this say.
Courtside at the Knicks, this big time. Prince Charming in
Welcome
the
back to GMA3. You are listening to the new single, I Got You, from one of the most recognizable voices in music. He's a hip-hop legend and cultural icon who's been setting the music world on fire for decades.
Hey, we're out here vibing out, right, over here? And after nearly 15 years, he has a new solo album coming out. Please welcome multi-platinum selling Grammy-nominated artist and entrepreneur, Fat Joe in the house.
Some interview we got going on.
I told you, I love this fit right here. You said you're wearing it because it's cold outside.
I had to bring the warmth. You know?
Hey, I like that. I had to bring the warmth.
I had to bring the warmth out. You know what I mean? It's Christmas, you know, in New York City.
All right, so let's talk about that.
Let me come out of that. That's some old news clip right there, so we don't want to look at that. Let me shrink that screen right there. First solo album, that's something else. So let's read some of this article right here. Joseph Fat Joe Cartagena is being accused of sex trafficking, fraud, and more in a new lawsuit brought by a former employee. It was some guy on the internet. It's probably the same guy. He was on there talking a lot of stuff about Fat Joe. And he's been through lawsuits and stuff before, so he know how this stuff goes. But it was one guy on there just campaigning about Fat Joe, and he wasn't paid properly. According to him, he probably wrote some of his lyrics or something like that. I'm gonna have to do some research on that. But let's read on. So right here, the 157-page lawsuit was filed June 19th in the Southern District of New York. Whoa, New York getting a lot of work put in right now by lawyer Tyrone Blackburn on behalf of Terrence T.A. Dixon, who says he worked for Cartagena for over 15 years from 2005 to 2020 as a hype man. Yeah, I think this is the same guy. Lyrics, background vocalist, security team member, and creative collaborator, according to the suit. In the complaint, Dixon alleges Cartagena and his associate systematically engaged in coercive labor exploitation. That's a lot of stuff they claiming Diddy was doing. Financial fraud, sexual manipulation, violent intimidation, and psychological coercion. Dixon claims he contributed lyrics. Yep, this is the same guy. Vocals and creative direction to several of Cartagena's songs, including Congratulations, Ice Cream, without recognition or fair compensation. Yeah, they'll take some credit from me, that's for sure. That's been historically going on in music forever. I mean, you can look at all the old music. I was watching some stuff about Frankie Lyman the other day. Matter of fact, that movie was made. Connotation to the movie was people taking credit for this song, so who gets paid for it? So he had all these wives, supposed to be wives, trying to get the payday for that. In addition to financial allegations, Dixon claims the rapper allegedly forced him into humiliating. Y'all gotta excuse me. Humiliating. Some words I just can't get down. Situations including sex acts performed under duress and surveillance, allegedly threatened abandonment in foreign countries, job loss, or physical harm if he didn't comply, according to the complaint. Yeah, when y'all get mad at a dude, y'all leave him in all these cities and all that type stuff. They can come back and bite you later on. It could be, but of course they got to fight this out in court. And civil court is different than like criminal court. The lawsuit also claims that Cartagena and his associates allegedly trafficked minors and psychologically groomed them. Dixon claiming he personally witnessed Cartagena allegedly engaged in sexual relations with children who were 15 and 16 years old. Whoa. Given the nature of allegations, as a matter of fact, Fat Joe just started a new podcast with Jada Kiss. I saw the first episode. Yeah, but I haven't watched it since then. Given the nature of the allegations, a trigger warning was included at the top of the court document. Noted it contains highly graphic information of a sexual nature, including sexual assault. Dixon is seeking over $2 million, but in the headlines it say $20 million for unpaid performance wages, as well as additional damages. Were reached by ABC News, Cartagena's attorney, Joe. I'm not gonna try to mess that name up. Said Cartagena sued Dixon and lawyer Blackburn back in April, alleging extortion, slander, and more. He claimed Dixon's lawsuit against his client was a blatant act of retaliation. So Fat Joe apparently tried to sue them, or did sue them. He said, and they filed a lawsuit just to retaliate back. Dixon and Blackburn have until June 23rd to submit a response to the first lawsuit, and hearing for the case is scheduled to take place August 1st. Oh, so Fat Joe got a case against them. They wouldn't file one against him. So that's what's happening here. It's sort of like that, can't think of that actor's name now. Those two actors, they was in court on some civil stuff. Joe is desperate. He thought only of himself when he advised his client to take this course. Okay. He continued. Fat Joe knows what he has done. My client was with him for nearly 20 years. My client does not do drugs, nor does he drink alcohol. His memory is perfect, and he has receipts. He had 3 additional pages of predicated acts, which detail trafficking of another sort. Joe should be advised his client to do the smart thing. Yeah, he got this issue going on with this guy. And that's why I say, man, you get relaxed and start doing stuff in front of people, they be writing that stuff down. They're going to keep track of all your little mistakes you're making. Even if they try to stop you, you're not going to listen to them because you have these yes people around you. I'm pretty sure Fat Joe had yes people around him. I always question these people, you know. If your crew didn't get a chance to eat really well and they helped you through this stuff, and you the only one doing great, something's wrong with that picture. But again, it's up to you whether you want to stay there or not. If you stay there for 15 and 20 years and you're not getting paid, some of that stuff got to be your fault. So this seems like some back and forth type stuff. Soap opera for sure. Soap opera for sure, at least in my opinion. Johnny Depp, that Johnny Depp case. That's the one I'm trying to think of. This reminds me of that because they went through that a couple of times, and she ended up losing. And he just had some good lawyers. He had some good lawyers on his team. And that's why he won that case. And the old girl just collapsed while she was on the stand. So it probably a long, drawn out thing. And these guys will be going back and forth on the internet. The other guy already been campaigning on the internet. The other guy who's filing a lawsuit. So apparently Fat Joe is suing them. And they want to come back with their lawsuit. So that's what's going on in this case right here. And Fat Joe better be careful here because you start talking that sex trafficking stuff and they call themselves having receipts. You may find yourself in one of those federal courts. Y'all doing all this dirt, y'all do all this stuff in front of people, you get relaxed and all of that. And they're going to sit down and write and record and keep receipts, and they're going to bring it up years later. If you notice, they say this guy's been with Fat Joe for 15, 20 years. Even with Diddy stuff. That stuff with Cassie, you know, that was back, 2016? So yes, they're going to wait till later on to bring up this stuff against you. That's just how it works. That's just how people are. I don't know if this stuff is true or not. I listened to a little bit of Fat Joe's songs. I may have had an album here and there, whatever. I wouldn't say he like my favorite rapper or none, but it don't knock his talent. He got some good records. Remy Ma, she got a little career going on, you know, from being part of the Terror Squad, but she seems to be the only one that had any type of success from the Terror Squad. Who else they had out from their label and all that stuff? So, they had Big Pun. Big Pun, well, he was the biggest artist from the Terror Squad. Then you got Remy Ma. I like Big Pun. He was jamming back in the days, but unfortunately he passed away. But this what it's looking like right here, just a bunch of drama. And dude want a payday from Fat Joe. I did like him in the movie with Mac 10, Thicker Than Water, I think the name of that was. He did a good job in that movie. But that's what's going on with Fat Joe. I want to move on to the mayor of Memphis, Paul Young. I actually met him. I got a picture with him as well. And apparently he went through some situation with a stalker that got to his door. It was a very frightening thing because the thing happened up there in Minnesota with those politicians. And politicians, they can be under threat because people are so radical when it comes to that genre. I believe this guy is a Democrat. And probably the other guy who came to his doorstep, he probably was a Democrat. So I'm gonna go to this story and see what this news report say. I mean, this guy got his work cut out, man, like literally, because I'm just keeping it 1,000. It's just a lot of crime in that city, and they're not focusing in the neighborhoods. Like the resources not reaching out there, and they pretty much is focusing downtown, and that's a big problem. The crime is just out of control. You have people making national statements talking about the dangers that's in this town. So this mayor right here, he got a lot of work to cut out. They just need to get some real strategies together. But I'm gonna go to this news report talking about the mayor. Hold on, what is it? Okay. Hold on, my screen jumping somewhere else. All right, I'm gonna share my screen with this. Let's see what this news report says. All right. There's gonna be some serious charges on this guy right here.
And duct tape has been accused of stalking and attempting to kidnap the mayor of Memphis, Tennessee. Police there say that they believe 25-year-old Trenton Abston was targeting Mayor Paul Young. He was arrested Wednesday after authorities say he could be seen scaling a wall to get into Young's neighborhood and then knocking on his front door. NBC News correspondent George Solis is following this story for us. George, what are we learning at this point about why Mayor Young was targeted, and was he home when this suspect approached the door?
Yeah, Vicky, these are all important questions and all part of this ongoing investigation. We actually learned this individual did have a court appearance that was actually postponed till Monday, where we would presumably learn more of the details of this alleged crime. But we do want to point to some information that we do have, including the charges that this individual is facing for these allegations of scaling that wall, allegedly trying to target the mayor. He's looking at charges of attempted kidnapping, aggravated criminal trespass, and stalking. These are all very serious charges. And of course, we have heard from the mayor himself, who is reacting. He's saying the link between angry online rhetoric and real life violence is becoming undeniable. Political violence and intimidation, whether threatened or enacted, simply cannot be our norm. Again, at this point, so many questions circling, and of course, heightened tensions given what we saw in Minneapolis and Minnesota last week. Obviously, a lot of people are sensitive to these incidents. But again, with that court case being postponed until next week, some of the more finer points about what transpired here, we may have to wait and see, Vicky.
Yeah, George, we can't.
Kidnapping is a federal charge.
Help but think of politically motivated violence, because just last week, Minnesota Senator John Hoffman was shot 9 times at his home in a targeted attack. And back in April, we covered Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's residence being set on fire. What are authorities advising elected officials to do right now to stay safe?
Right now, I mean, everything is more about just being a little bit more heightened. We do have a statement from Memphis's police department about this harrowing incident, in which they say, we understand the concern raised by this incident, and we want to reassure the public that the Memphis Police Department remains fully committed to the safety of all residents, including our city's elected officials. But as you mentioned, Vicky, no doubt that there's obviously a lot of eyebrows being raised when you have an incident like this so close to home, and obviously just on the heels of such horrific violence that we saw in the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
Vicky?
All right, George Solis, thank you very much.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay up.
You know, this guy supposedly or allegedly climbed that wall because he wanted to address the mayor about the crime in Memphis. Like this mayor right here just got a whole lot of work cut out for him. You know, he got to tackle the crime in Memphis, and they're just more damaging to the city of Memphis. Too many people that's coming out nationwide, and so many podcasters talks about the danger that's in that city, and they plan to send the feds there, and that's not a good look for this regime right here. You got National Stephen A. Smith. He even came on there and gave some comments about the danger of how NBA players don't want to come to that city and play ball. I think a lot of that attention came from that Say So P hit that happened downtown Memphis. You know, a lot of NBA players stays at that hotel. Business leaders and all kind of people be at that hotel, and to be raising them up to go do that. Yeah, so, but this guy right here, he need to focus on the city as a whole instead of one part of the city. That's just my personal opinion. It's not enough resources reaching into the actual community of Memphis. So it almost would seem like everybody else is getting taken care of but the city. So, but he got to do something about this crime. They're going to send the feds in there for one. And a lot of stuff going to happen. But this is not a good look right here to compound the other stuff people are saying about the danger. So you got this guy who's supposedly stalking the mayor, and he climbed over the wall, and he supposedly wanted to address this guy about the crime. Yeah, for sure. So that's definitely something he had to address. And the police department, they got to get this stuff under control. When cities, it swings around in different cities. It's just not Memphis. They just getting the most attention right now. But that's not a good look when you got politicians talking about you. You got the FBI talking about you. Don't let Trump get up there and mention it. Oh man, it's gonna be an ugly situation. And you're gonna have all kind of stuff coming through that city. That's a fact. I want to find that Stephen A. Smith, when he talked about, I seen it myself, when he talked about Memphis and players don't want to go there. One of the twins said they would play there. Stephen A. Smith about Memphis. Let me see if I can pull that up right quick. I was looking at it the other day. Well, they said John Morant's comments. Well, he addressed that comment Stephen A. Smith said. And I think Paul Young, he had something to say about Stephen A. Smith's comments. And Stephen A. Smith, you know, he tell it how it is, and he's always open for a conversation. And you got to remember that Stephen A. Smith just spoke recently, and he's contemplating on running for president. The next election coming around for the president of the United States, Stephen A. Smith say he's seriously thinking about running for that. So he would invite a conversation with the mayor, Paul Young, without a doubt. He'll jump right on the phone and have a conversation with this dude. So I don't see the interview you was having right now. I don't want to go too deep and just do the real search for it. I just try to do a real quick scan, see if I can pull it up right quick. But a lot of people saw the interview, but it still compounds the image. You got a stalker who's being charged with kidnapping, which is the federal charge. So his case may get turned over to the feds. If you're in the building, I see a few people in there, click that like button. I appreciate it. Well, thank you for joining me. Y'all can jump in on this conversation. If you leave your comment, let me see where I can find is that. Here we go. I'll post it right there. Give you a shout out or whatever. But it don't cost nothing to click that like button. Show some support. I appreciate it. We already covered Fat Joe. And currently talking about Mayor Paul Young. And he just starting out as a mayor. He's a rookie to the mayor stuff, but he's been around politics. He know the politics and all that type of stuff. But he just got his work cut out. You cannot have this type of image for your city. And you got to take care of your city. Those resources need to reach out into the city. Like you go out into some of these neighborhoods or some of those neighborhoods, and there's a lot of cities like that. You know, they be focused on the downtown area and all that. Then when you go out into the neighborhoods, there's nothing out there. Literally nothing. What you have is riddled up with small businesses that's probably not owned by the people that's from that community. That's basically what these neighborhoods are. There's nothing over there in these neighborhoods across America, you know, and all you see is riddled up with stores and all that type of stuff that's owned by the people who's not from that community. And we all go pour our money into their pockets. And it's always going to stay like that until we learn how to pool together resources. You know, that's just a hard thing to do. So a lot of people are oppressed and a lot of people depressed. So Paul Young, I really hate that happened to you. I think you're a good guy. I think you mean well. There's only so much you can do when it comes to politics. But I'm saying myself, you're going to have to do something about the crime. Yeah, I mean, there's too many people saying that this is a dangerous city, and that's not a good look for you. When you got the FBI director getting on there saying this, that make you look bad, and your police department. You know what I'm saying? This is GPTV1 live stream, doing this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Try to cover some of the hot stories. You can go to the channel right now. I'm not even focusing on a lot of getting made views and stuff like that. Right now, I'm really focusing on loading up as much content as I can. This channel is built for exploration, and it grows over time. So, yeah, but that's what's going on with Paul Young. I hope you get it together, man. You know, but I want to go to this guy. That's P. Diddy's drug mule. The prosecution is about to rest their case. They're about to rest their case, and the defense going to sort of take over at that point. And we already know what their defense is. Want to make it seem like everybody was with it. Everybody agreed to it. This was consensual. You could have left at any time you wanted to, and that type stuff. So that's going to be their defense. But before we get into that, I want to go get me something cold to drink. And I want y'all to stay tuned because I'll be right back. I appreciate it, fam. Yeah, I'm back in the building. And I want to say happy Juneteenth. Time of the year when people celebrate Juneteenth. And that was the day that slavery was officially over. Because even though they had the Civil War and all that stuff, it still was pockets of slavery going on. But this was the day they allegedly supposed to have ended slavery. So a lot of people celebrate this day. Happy Juneteenth. Now you're in the building, click that like button, click that subscribe button, click that notification bell. That way you can get alerts for whenever I go live. And as the community grows, I will have other people on here joining me, for sure. I like to interview people for sure. Somebody hit me up and said they wanted me to do their story. I said, I'm not going to do your story. I interview you. That's a fact. I got requests for other stories, but I had to be careful with those requests. Because when you're doing covering crime stuff, it may be one side, maybe don't like the other side. So they'll call you, try to do a video about the other side. I'm like, nah, I ain't getting involved in that. No. I'm not getting involved. We ain't sparking up no beefs over here. That's not what we do. Too professional for that. P. Diddy's drug mill. So let's see what's going on with this stuff. I look at various sources when it comes to P. Diddy. And when it comes to crime, you have channels that strictly focus on crime, like the Crime Network, Court TV. And then you have, when I'm looking for like news sources, then I go to the ABCs and all that stuff. But sometimes, this is like when I'm investing in stocks and crypto and all that stuff, I go to the financial news channels to get my information. Like I don't look at a rapper or something like that and try to get ideas from them what stock I should be buying. They're the last people I'm trying to listen to. But I go to the financial news channel. So sometimes when I cover these crime stories, I go to crime networks and check out their stories, you know. But let's share some of this stuff that's going on with Diddy. Let me share my screen right here. Let me share this. P. Diddy. So this sidebar from Law and Crime. Let me widen up the screen and get some sound going on.
I will kill you because you're with me. I will kill you and I will hide you and I will cut you up and put you in the dirt right now.
Newly released audio from Cassie. An alleged drug mule testifies. Evidence of damaged rooms and cash. And did we just find out when this trial is going to officially wrap up? Tells us a lot about whether Diddy will actually take the stand. It is a full recap of today's events in the Sean Combs criminal trial. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Hey everybody, this is another Law and Crime legal alert. If you received Depo-Provera birth control shots and were later diagnosed with a brain or spinal tumor called meningioma, you may be eligible for a lawsuit.
No, you playing games, and now we're never.
One in this case, her testimony. Reporter for more. Elizabeth, so good to see you. Thanks so much for taking the time. I always say this, before we get into the testimony, there's always something else I have to ask you about. I have to ask you about something that has been circulating. This is something that came out earlier on in the trial. This is something that I believe the defense had cross-examined Cassandra Ventura Fine about. And it's this audio tape.
If you're listening on Twitch, please click that follow button. I did pick up a subscriber over there, so shouts out to you. If you're on Twitch right now, click that subscribe button.
It was this audio tape that was played in court, but it's the first time we have all heard it. And it is where Cassie, again, alleged victim number one in this case, her testimony arguably supports the racketeering charge. She makes up one of the sex trafficking counts. She makes up one of the transportation to engage in prostitution counts.
Who is this on
in this tape, she allegedly threatens a man, I believe a man named Sujit, over him viewing a sex tape of her, a freak off. I want to play a quick portion of it, then I want you to put into context for it.
No, you playing games, and now we're never. Now all my friends can go, and we can stay here. All right, everybody can go, and we're gonna stay here. Everybody heard. So they're all leaving, and we're staying here until you show me that I'm going to kill you. You don't understand. I don't give a I've never killed anybody in my life, but I will kill you because you're with me.
That's how bad she don't want that tape put out there.
With me in my life right now. If I saw a video of you doing anything that you didn't want people to see, I would show you the video so you could tell me what the happened. You're playing games with me, telling me you saw some. Now you're saying you didn't see some. You with me. I'm going to you up. I don't think you understand. And it's not going to be my hands, and it's not going to be blood on my hands. Someone else is going to do it. So you have to tell me right now, and I'm recording this whole FYI, tell me.
I would not feel threatened by this girl at all. In fact, I'll start laughing at her.
What the you're talking about? So you have it or you don't have it? Can you just be clear with me? Do you have it?
I saw it and I don't want to ever see it again.
I know you don't, but I want to see it.
Yeah. This is where all this BS come in there. Everybody recording each other's conversations and all that type stuff.
But I don't want to see it, bro.
Yeah, you don't have to see it, but it's my life and I'll kill you.
Yeah, but
no, I will kill you if you don't show me right now. I will kill you and I will hide you and I will cut you up and put you in the dirt right now. Pull it up. If you have it, pull the up. Because if not, I'm going to kill you and then he's going to kill you again. So just do it. Pull that up right now.
Elizabeth, why is that important to this case? And also, you and I were talking about this. There seems to be a misconception about what this tape is and is not. Put it into context for us, and what is your reaction to this clip? Why is it important?
So while this was a clip that was recently released to the public, it is an audio clip that was played out in court. So the jury has heard it, both sides have heard it, people who have been attending court have heard it. And just to kind of put it into context for all our viewers who are kind of unfamiliar with this particular recording, it's Cassie confronting, I believe, a club promoter named Sujit. And this was around the 2014 timeframe. Sujit had let Cassie know that he had come across this sexually explicit video of her, and Cassie was upset about this. She was really trying to get to the bottom of how he obtained this video of her and what all this video was of Cassie, again, in this sexually explicit video that Sujit allegedly had. And so she was confronting him, just saying things along the lines of, I'm going to kill you, and if it's not going to be at my hands, and just that she was super mad, just that there might be, you know, the sexually explicit video of her just circulating out there, that other people have obtained it outside of, you know, her personal, you know, devices, that type of thing. So as far as this audio recording goes, it really seems like it can work for both sides, right? The government side, mainly because Cassie can be heard just very upset about somebody coming into possession of her sexually explicit video. But then it could also work on the defensive side, right? Because
it's here nor there. You can use that either way. But to me, it sounds like she's willing to do whatever it takes so her image won't be damaged out there. And I don't blame her. Me personally, I would threaten people too. But again, all these people recording all these conversations, that stuff is too weird. Why are you recording this stuff if you know you're gonna use it later on? I want to go to the drug mule. I don't want to talk about her right now. I want to get to the drug mule. So we stop sharing that. We switch to the drug mule. I want to hear about that. Talk about the drug mule. All right, let me share that, widen that up, get some sound going on.
To remind you that 60% of sales on Amazon come from independent sellers. Tracy from Lilies of
Charm.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So we have with us Elizabeth Milner, law and crimes in court reporter, who's been there every day for the action, every day of testimony, and we have so many questions coming in now for Elizabeth. Elizabeth, really good to see you. Before I even go to the more substantive questions, let me give you some praise that we got here. This is from Morty von Eltberg. Thank you. Please let Jesse know if he's ever in Atlanta. I would love to have a cocktail or 12 with him. Also, you all are amazing. That's very sweet. Gene Sluter says, I want my own Jesse and Elizabeth to break down everything in my life for me. Well, that is just disaster. I don't think you want that, but it's very, very kind. All right, so we got the first question from Fabiola Delgado Lebron. Queen Elizabeth, did the defense look stressed during testimony?
Queen, we getting some love.
Not one bit. I personally didn't think that they seemed stressed during today's testimony, especially once Brendan Paul got on the witness stand. I was kind of thinking that the testimony overall would go one direction, especially given the lawsuit. But given that we saw him kind of testify today, it didn't even go the way I kind of thought.
Man, Joe better be careful. He may end up on one of these cases.
Thought it was going, and that's one of the biggest things about this case specifically is you think it's going to go in one direction, then it goes into another direction. So from what I could tell, the defense didn't seem stressed, and I don't want to say that they didn't seem stressed and like they were so like calm, cool, and collective in an arrogant way. It was nothing like that, but it seems like, especially as we're kind of getting towards the end of trial here, that they don't seem as stressed as maybe people may think they are. But again, you know, we never know what's going on through their heads and that type of sort. But from what I could tell, they seem kind of still, you know, pretty surface level as far as just the feelings of emotions from what I could tell sitting inside the courtroom.
Question from Denise Lopez. Elizabeth, how was the tension in the room when Brendan Paul testified? And did he make eye contact with Diddy?
Oh, let me skip past that commercial right there. They got to get their money.
I didn't think that there was going to be a tense moment between the two, especially given kind of the demeanor it's been with other assistants testifying. And so
I think this drug mule was one of the first people arrested surrounding this P. Diddy thing. Let's go.
because Diddy wasn't present when Brendan Paul got his immunity deal outside of the presence of the jury, I thought there might be kind of a big moment where maybe Brendan Paul didn't even want to look in Diddy's direction while he kind of approached the witness stand. But from what I could see of him, Diddy did kind of what he normally does when maybe a compelling witness might come up and testify. He kind of turned around in his defense chair and he kind of watched Brendan Paul take the witness stand. But I couldn't feel like necessarily a tense atmosphere as opposed to maybe when Jane was testifying or even as far as when Cassie was testifying. But from what I could tell, even when Brendan Paul got off the witness stand, I think he kind of looked in Diddy's direction. I don't think there was kind of like just like a nod to one another, a smile to one another from what I could see. But it didn't feel as tense as maybe I thought it was going to be when he entered the courtroom.
So I have two questions for you that are very similar. They're about Sean Combs because you are our eyes and ears. There are no cameras in that courtroom. There is no audio equipment in that courtroom. But listen to this from Joe Lucas. Elizabeth, great reporting. Feels like I'm there. I mean, what better compliment can you get than that? So Joe Lucas asks, what is Diddy's demeanor like today as it's coming up to the end of the prosecution's case? And RD asks, Elizabeth, have you seen Combs look at the jury much since he got in trouble? Remember, he did get in trouble with the judge after a really, I would say, beneficial moment of cross-examination of a key witness in this case. He was accused of nodding at the jury. So what's his demeanor like, and has he been looking at the jury?
Well, I'll take the second question first. Yes, I did see him kind of looking over towards the jury's direction today during testimony, but not kind of as animated as maybe he has been in the past as far as nodding goes and all of that stuff. I really just kind of think I saw him just looking in their direction maybe to get, maybe what their demeanor was, kind of listening to all these text messages, listening to Brendan Paul testify again too. But as far as just his demeanor overall, it's still kind of the same thing. As if he's feeling any type of worry or anxiety about what the future may hold, I haven't been seeing that necessarily. And again, not in like a cocky or an arrogant type of way, but really just kind of maybe possibly a more poker face kind of way where if there's any type of emotional feeling that he is having and, it's not reading over his face. Maybe it's in his mind. It's something that we're not seeing. But as far as just his demeanor overall, he kind of is still doing what he's been doing. He's taking his notes. He's listening to testimony. He's jotting his notes down to his defense attorneys. The few moments that I do see him kind of, maybe beam up in a sense is when he sees his family inside the courtroom. So kind of turning around, saying hello to his son, saying hello to his mom, his sister. But as far as any type of worrisome demeanor, I haven't seen that, but you never know what's going on through his mind.
Are they there today? Is his family there?
Yep, his family is here today. I saw his sons, just Justin and Christian Combs today, his sister Keisha, his mom, Janice, and then of course his friend Charlucci, who's been inside that courtroom pretty much as I've been. Even before the trial began, he was always attending those pretrial hearings too. So he did have his support system inside the courtroom today too.
We got this question from Ilana Rodriguez. I absolutely love Jesse and Elizabeth. Oh, they're both great. And Jesse, I love the hair. Thank you so much. Question, Elizabeth. So this is important because we found this out. It was actually shocking. We found it out, 15 minutes ago? Elizabeth, when will the trial be over? And when will the prosecution government be done with their case? I mean, we just found out when this is basically going to wrap up, right?
Yes, we did. It's coming closer to an end, pretty much faster than I was expecting.
I'm gonna go to this other report. This case is almost over. They probably got another week or two on this, and then it will go to the jury. But I want to go to another report I was looking at. Let's go here. Let me share my screen. Let's go here, see what they say. It's from News Nation. Let's go.
National correspondent Laura Ingle is live outside the courthouse in Manhattan with the very latest. Laura.
Hey, okay, so we are, in fact, rounding third, as we would like to say, is in terms of the prosecution's case. After 6 weeks and over 30 witnesses called by prosecutors, we are now, in fact, on the very last
30 witnesses.
As you mentioned,
whoa.
Didn't quite get there. It was a short court day today with court ending at 1 p.m. Eastern. So that witness, a Homeland Security Special Agent, will be back on the stand as a summary witness on Monday. We have been told that that special agent will be about 2 hours maybe, and then there will be a cross-examination led by Tenny Garagos from the defense, and then we will start getting into the defense's case, which is supposed to be pretty short. But let's talk about what happened today. Brendan Paul was the majority of today. He has been branded as Combs' drug mule after his arrest for cocaine possession in March of 2024. He was also a personal assistant to Combs, so really giving us a behind the curtain look of life behind doors. He was granted immunity to testify in this trial.
Yeah,
so
buddy.
He was in the clear there. And when he shared that he worked for Combs from 2022 until his arrest in 2024, we heard a lot about drugs. In fact, he testified that as a former college basketball player, his responsibilities included prepping Combs' workout plans. He also testified to Combs' drug use. We heard about it from other witnesses, of course, throughout this long trial. But Paul was frequently the assistant responsible for purchasing the drugs, including cocaine, ecstasy, and ketamine. And he even told jurors that he tried some of these drugs along with Combs to prove his loyalty. Paul also shared that Combs was quite temperamental, a lot of the time firing him on numerous occasions. KK, Combs' chief of staff, would tell him to lay low when that would happen, and then the boss would treat him like nothing had happened just a few days later. So really describing a roller coaster ride of employment. On cross-examination, though, Paul shared that he had mostly good experiences working for Combs, and he says he never saw Jane, Combs' ex-girlfriend, seem hesitant or unwilling to participate in hotel nights. So, again, with that final witness that was on the stand today, the prosecution expected to rest their case on
final
Monday.
witness.
This, of course, is a very big moment in this ongoing trial. The defense said that they expect.
Yeah, that's their final witness, and the defense going to come with their case. And they called 30 witnesses. Like, people kept saying it should be more than just Diddy on that RICO trial, that RICO charge. But according to them, they had 30 witnesses. And a lot of those people took deals. Like this guy right here, that drug mule, he was one of the first persons that got arrested before they even arrested Diddy. So he had already took his deal. And I believe some of them, these victims, they took deals as well. And I think all that stuff is wrapped, and we don't know exact charges they charged them with. But it's some type of drug charge for sure. And this guy, he's not about to go to jail for no Diddy. He's not about to go to jail for Diddy. You can forget about it. This is GPTV1. I had fun again. I can't wait to do this again on Monday. So catch me on Monday. It's going down. I want to thank everyone that stepped in the building. Hope y'all enjoyed the content. And go to the channel and check out some of the fresh new content I posted. On that note, y'all stay blessed out there. Welcome to the GP Inner Circle. What up, though, GP fam? I'm excited to announce that the GP membership is now officially active. This is your chance to step up and show your support in a way that truly matters. By joining the Inner Circle, you will unlock exclusive perks tailored just for the most dedicated supporters, because you deserve nothing less. But that's not all. The Super Chat feature is now live, giving you an even greater opportunity to engage with me and the community in real time. Your support fuels my passion and creativity, inspiring me to deliver the kind of fire content that only the GP fam deserves. So why wait? Join the GP membership today and be a part of something special. Let's elevate this community together, because when you thrive, we all thrive. Welcome to the Inner Circle. Your journey starts now. Much love.